This is Mark Gunn Media.
Hit it!
Welcome to Gunshots Straight from the Hip. I'm your host, Mark Gunn. The views expressed on this program are those of the host and guests and not necessarily reflective of anyone or any entity associated with this broadcast. This episode, the TikTok that triggered America. I want to personally thank everybody who has subscribed to the podcast, and remember, you can download it at markgunmedia.com, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, Google Podcasts, envision-radio.com, or wherever you download your podcasts. I also want to thank those of you that listen from anywhere in the U.S. and around the world. Bonjour to our listeners in France. Guten Tag to those of you listening in Germany. To my friends in Ireland. Dia Huch. Apa kabar Indonesia. Konnichiwa Japan. To my family in Nigeria. In Leo. Hello to my neighbors to the north in Canada. Hello Bangladesh. Hola to my friends in Brazil. G'day in Australia. And hello to those of you listening in the UK. We would love to hear from you, and you can reach out to us by going to our website at markgunmedia.com or through envision-radio.com. One of the things that I'm finding very interesting as of late is during this ongoing battle to reconcile America's racism, you're starting to see some pushback. As a matter of fact, there was a TikToker, young African-American woman, very simple statement that she made that triggered a whole lot of people. She simply got on her TikTok and said that, quote, "I don't like white people." End of story. Now, in and of itself, and on the surface, you think that would be problematic. It was for a lot of white people. And here's where things continue to be twisted. For 400 years, that's the vitriol we've been getting from them. And they have the nerve to be offended when somebody says it using their language. Now, notice this woman did not say she hated white people. She did not like white people. And if you really think about it, throughout America's history, whites have given us plenty of reasons not to like them.
You people. You're not a race. You are a virus. You destroy the world. Everything beautiful you poison. You drag us from our homes. You rape our daughters, murder our sons. You crack our spines and do all you can to break our will. You stab us. Then you put the knife in our hand and tell us it's our fault. And if you don't do it yourself, you stand by, close your eyes, and pretend there's nothing wrong. And then you pray to your God to silence our screams so that you can enjoy the happiness that we built for you. With our blood. But it's not your fault. It's the only way you know how to be. And the only thing that will change anything is if another virus comes along and does to you what you do to us. And I hope that happens very soon.
Everything from microaggressions to out-and-out denial, not listening to the voices of those who've been telling you for the last 400 years that there is a problem.
White people make me nervous, not white people. White women have made me nervous lately. And not because of white privilege, because of white women and their cell phones. They love to use their cell phones to call the police. For anything. They can't wait to pull that phone out. I'm telling you, black, there's one sound you don't ever want to hear white women say on their phone. If you get 2 hugs in a row, you're going straight to jail. Calling all cars. We have a For anything, they just walk around looking for Excuse me, little boy. Do you have a permit for your lemonade stand? No, ma'am. There's no permit. This white woman called the police on this black guy because his dog humped her dog in a dog park. you think dogs go to the park for? To hump. You ever see a dog in the park, as soon as they walk, they're like, oh, all these yeah.
It's the unearned sense of entitlement. It's the arrogance. It's the sheer caucasity that makes some of us not like you. And it's odd because individually, a lot of us can get along. But as a group, as another white woman once said, you are not to be trusted. And the thing is, you only have American history to blame.
Blacks and cops aren't getting along. I don't know if you've seen the news in the past 400 years, but... I don't know if you've seen it. Apparently, we've hit a rough patch. My brother's a cop, actually. I don't with him. Not right now, it's too hot. I only see him Thanksgiving. And even then, I'm like, I'm reaching for the potatoes. He hates that shit. He doesn't find it funny at all. I think it's hysterical. We can't agree on anything anymore. As a country, we just can't agree. We just fight about everything. We can't even agree on Black Lives Matter. That's a controversial statement. Black lives matter. Not matters more than you, just matters. Matters. Just matters. That's where we're starting the negotiations. Matters. What the f less than matters? Black lives exist, can we say that? Can we say, is that controversial? We always ask for the lowest common denominator. We ask for the lowest rights. Gays were fighting for equal rights. Equal rights. Could you believe that's an actual stance you could have? You could be for equal rights? That means there's people out there saying, I think everybody should have the same rights as everyone else. And there's other people like, nah, son, I disagree. I just don't think so. Black people was fighting for civil rights, not even equal. Just civil. Can we get civil? I'll take civil rights. Just be civil. Just want civil. Can we get civil? Turn the hose off. Can we just get... They don't tell you Black lives don't matter. That's not what they say. That's not the argument. Like, well, all lives matter. Really? Semantics? That would be like if your wife came up to you and was like, do you love me? And you were like, baby, I love everybody. What are you talking about? I love all God's creatures. What are you saying? You're no different. Why do black people always have to get over shit so quickly? Slavery, oh, that was 400 years ago. Segregation, oh, you guys got Black History Month out of it. Come on, we gave you February. Police shooting, that was 2 weeks. Come on, you still? 9/11, oh, never forget. That's why this September I'm getting a t-shirt that says, all buildings matter. Let me see how that works. No? You want one?
Getting you to understand that some of the things that you say and do are simply unacceptable. Getting you to accept some of the boundaries that we've set as a people and for our culture. As a matter of fact, what if we were to say to you some of the things that you say to us?
Wait a minute, you don't listen to Taylor Swift?
No.
Girl, I am like whiter than you.
Was it hard to grow up in the suburbs? It must have been really boring with no police activity or anything.
Your hair is amazing. You know, it's kind of like my golden retriever. It's so limp and lifeless. Like, how do you do that?
Oh, wow.
Your name is so easy to spell and pronounce. Was it like really easy to get a job?
Check out these photos of me volunteering at an orphanage in Europe. Those little white boys and girls, they were so inspiring.
Oh, wow. No, you don't sound like a dumb hick at all. That's so cool.
You are so pretty for a white girl.
It's really sad when Romney lost, huh? Good old Mitt. Couldn't do it. Could not do it.
You were dating a white guy. Does he have like a really tiny penis?
Oh, you must listen to that rural music, right?
You know who you look just like? Who? Jennifer Lawrence?
So we just saw Titanic. How are you dealing? I had no idea your people had it so hard.
Your skin is so pale. Can I touch it?
Wow. You know, I was just talking about that with my friend Jeremy. He's white too. So.
I don't even think of you as white. I don't. I really don't. Wow. So you have to wear sunscreen? That is so crazy.
Hey, I'm from out of town. Can you help me find some meth? What do you mean you don't listen to Macklemore? You're white.
I've always heard that white girls are like super boring in bed.
Oh, hey.
Yo, what's up, my crack?
Whoa.
Oh, no, man, it's cool. You know, I can say it. My girlfriend's white.
Yeah, not cool, man.
Oh, okay, my bad, Daniel. My bad.
It's crack.
Another problem that we have with you, in your attempt, quotation marks, to be an ally, you don't want to do the work necessary for allyship. As a matter of fact, I had a conversation that was very short-lived because I dismissed it rather quickly with somebody online who was asking me, a black man, to educate them on their racism. Understand this and understand this clearly. There is not a black man, woman, or child on this earth that has an obligation to you to teach you about a system that you benefit from. Here's the thing. Every bit of American history that we have been taught, and this is where critical race theory comes into play, and this is why some people are so upset about it.
Just because I do not want critical race theory taught to my children in school does not mean that I'm a racist, damn it.
Most of us that have learned our history or are beginning the journey to learn our history have put into work. We've gone to outside sources. We've done the research. We know the truth, and we're able to start shedding the lies. And this is where people are getting upset. You've been brainwashed for as long as you've been here about what we call the Great White Lie. A lot of your history is a load of crap.
As they say, history is written by the victors, and the United States of America has been the victor quite a lot. For this reason, they've gotten to write most of their own history, and it tends to be quite positive and rather rosy, and full of little vignettes that make particular groups' pet theories look rather grand. However, the truth is that when victors write the history, they often leave out the unpleasant details and even insert little bits of propaganda. We're going to go over the truth of American history. The Emancipation Proclamation freed the slaves, and that was that. As far as many Americans are concerned, the Emancipation Proclamation freed the slaves, and the sweet sound of freedom rang out across the land, and all was well, until those pesky Jim Crow laws came about. However, after the Emancipation Proclamation and before Jim Crow really got going, Congress passed the 13th Amendment, which officially outlawed slavery and freed the remaining people held in bondage, except those who had committed felonies and were slaves of the state, whose labor the state could sell as it wished. The Emancipation Proclamation only freed the slaves who were in states in open rebellion, which didn't even include every major slaveholding state, and overall accounted for only about 3/4 of the slaves in the country. While it was a big move, it was also only a presidential move that Lincoln could use because of the war, and it did not outlaw slavery or free all of the slaves. That would come later after the North beat the South soundly into the ground.
Thankfully, there are a lot of white people that are realizing that, and they are speaking out against it, and they are actively campaigning for critical race theory to be taught in schools. But the majority of you are so stuck in your red, white, and blue delusion that you're choking on the American flag. It is your whiteness, not the fact that you are a white person. It is your whiteness that is to your detriment. Back to that conversation. I told this person, do the work, do the research. And he got upset about that. And then when you start hearing that we don't have an obligation to teach you anything, more people are getting upset about that because it's lazy. It's intellectual laziness. We've had to do all the work to learn more about you and your quote unquote culture, but you expect us to do the work for you so that you can learn about us. Make that make sense.
The problem with racism is the problem of white people. It's created by white people. It's perpetuated by white people. It benefits white people. We don't even know what being white is or how we came to be white. Like, we understand so little because we aren't meant to understand. That's how the system perpetuates itself, because it exists in silence, it's wrapped in silence, and we learn not to question it.
Racism in this country will not end until people described as white realize that it is a problem that they created and a problem that only they can solve. So instead of coming at us trying to solve the problem, look inward, deal with yourself. As a matter of fact, there are quite a few of you that have started to do that, and some of you that have come from the worst places ever. You're going to be hearing from a former white supremacist who's turned himself around and is doing his bit to make things better right after this.
This is Mark Gun Media.
Hit it!
One of the biggest accomplishments we've had over the past year is the continued growth of our podcast, Gunshots Straight from the Hip. If you haven't heard it, you can check it out now on our website at markgunmedia.com or on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or the TuneIn Radio app. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Past episodes are available for download right now. Each episode is written and produced from a perspective not heard enough in this medium, the Black perspective. However, Gunshot Straight from the Hip is not limited to a Black audience. Anyone can get something out of it. We tackle social and political issues, sometimes some slice of life stuff, in a way that's very compelling and unlike any other podcast on the market right now. With my experience as an award-winning audio producer and a reputation for being rather outspoken, Gunshots Straight from the Hip is something you won't want to miss. Over the next year, we want to add more subscribers with a goal of 1,000 new subscribers every month. If you haven't joined us yet, go to our website at markgunmedia.com and hit the podcast link. You could also subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. If you're already with us, thank you. We just ask that you turn your friends and family on to us. Remember, we have a goal of 1,000 new subscribers every month, and we can't do it without your support. That's Gunshots Straight from the Hip, available right now at markgunmedia.com, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or the TuneIn Radio app. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.
Mark Gun Media. No hype, no hoopla, just damn good work.
For downloads of this and past episodes and information about all the multimedia services we offer, log on to our website at www.markgunmedia.com. That's markgunmedia.com. Welcome back to Gunshot Straight from the Hip. This episode, the TikTok that triggered America. We're talking about the fact that in the ongoing battle over racism, Black people are starting to push back, being openly hostile toward whites, when it's been tradition that we have been the peaceful, forgiving people. As I said, there are a lot of problems with a lot of white people in this country, and it's not the fact that you're white, it's your whiteness. It's that overall mindset.
Number one, the effects on people who look like me are to cause them tremendous fear, because they know that within 30 years, and now it's about down to 20 years, we melanemic people will be a numerical minority in the United States of America. That's the way it is. And incidentally, this is not America. America is everything from the northernmost point of Canada to the southernmost point of South America, and we, in our arrogance, call it America, as if the 48 contiguous states, Alaska, Hawaii, and the islands off the southeastern coast of the United States are all that constitutes America. We've got to change our vocabulary. I'm an educator. Educators are engaged in the business of leading people out of ignorance. The Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers, that whole group of mostly white, fairly young men, most of them are old enough to know better, but too damn young to care. And you cannot solve things by saying to people, my mind's made up, don't confuse me with facts. And that's exactly what most of us are doing most of the time in this country right now. We want to pretend that what we have is what we have described. It isn't. This country, which is getting increasingly racist in its behaviors and its attitudes because of the fear of white people that when people of color get power, they're going to want to treat us the way we have treated them. That is the major problem in the United States right now, is white fear of retribution. I think we could give up that fear. I have watched people go through this exercise, the blue-eyed, brown-eyed exercise, and after it's over, I have heard them say, I had no idea. I will not abuse people. I will not make them feel the way I felt when I was on the bottom. I never knew how it felt to be on the bottom before. Now I've found out how that feels. I will never do something that will make someone feel the way I felt for just an hour and a half. I think we have misjudged the intelligence and the humanity of a whole lot of people of color, and that's why we're afraid of them.
Before the break, I did allude to the fact that some of you are making progress in trying to turn things around, and some of you have come from some of the worst circumstances in order to do that. Meet Thomas Engelman, a former white supremacist who turned his life around and is doing everything he can to make up for the wrong that he's caused.
You're an ex-white supremacist?
Yes. I got shot in the face as my penalty for getting out.
Wow.
A man has been shot in the head.
At some point, something happened to push that vehicle off the road. 2 white males were responsible. One of these men shot the driver in the head.
Now, I de-radicalize people out of hate groups.
Just keep doing what you're doing, man. I appreciate it.
I joined the Aryan Brotherhood while serving an 8-year prison sentence for committing armed robbery at the age of 19 years old. I didn't have racist thoughts before going into prison. I had multiple African-American friends growing up. I did not consider myself anti-Semitic ever. I joined the Brotherhood not for protection, but for family structure. Most of my family had passed away. I had 8 years to do, and I needed somebody to, to call like my family my own. I took on the rhetoric. I was pretending to be this person. I've done at least 3 to 5 violent missions for the Brotherhood, where I at least drew blood, or a lot worse usually.
What would be a typical thing that someone did wrong?
If somebody has a debt they owe, if somebody else paid to have another person taught a lesson, that lesson gets taught. It's just like a soldier does when he goes to war. It's just something he has to do. It's his job. That's what I looked at it. I didn't enjoy hurting people. I hated it. Upon release from prison, I had hoped that I could just fade away and go away and just mind my business. They had other plans. After I recovered in the hospital, I immediately vacated the state to not return. I have 0 vision in my right eye and my left eye. It looks okay, but I have 0 perception in my peripheral, and I have 2400. I mainly use the use of a sighted guide or my guide dog. I found life after hate, and through that, I have built a forum that allows formers to come together and communicate and dealing with the process of disengaging and re-entering, the community. He's in Clan, trying to get out, helping him find balance, ways to deal with it. Try to talk reason and sense and get away. If not, well, there's always something you can do to try to, avoid the violence.
How's your new tattoo doing?
One step closer to being unidentifiable as a white supremacist. At one time, I had 56 swastikas on me. People that I run into, they see my tattoos, they judge.
Are you planning on covering up every tattoo on your body?
Everything racist, yes. To cover all the racist tattoos that I have is hard to do because what I sacrificed for them and the stuff that I've had to do for them. But it's a thing of shame. So I wanted them off, and I wanted to show on the outside what I was on the inside. Pretty cool, huh? That is cool. That really got rid of it. I love it. I can put that part of my past away, and piece by piece, it's getting put away. You got a minute?
Yes, sir.
Are you familiar with the Aryan Brotherhood? You know what that is? It's a white supremacy prison gang. I used to be part of that. Now I help to de-radicalize people out of these groups.
You don't like black people? You ain't used to like black people?
All right. Let me back up. All right. I didn't have racist thoughts. It was the closest thing for community that I could find.
Everybody deserves a second chance.
Thank you.
When you talking about in the gang, what you racist towards black people or something?
Okay, the gang itself is racist towards anybody that's not white. So technically, yes.
Why did you get
Personally, prison, the family. Well, when I decided to get out, I ended up getting shot in the face. But now I help to de-radicalize people. I don't hate people.
I appreciate you, trying to do all that because, you look like you've been through some things and you really know what you were doing, honestly.
Yeah, I did.
Because we all humans. Everybody racist to everybody. You good, bruh.
Thank you so much. And y'all
For
have
sure.
a blessed day. Thank you. I just do it just to try to help get back for the stuff that I did and for the stuff that, whoever I may have influenced, what they may have done.
Now your decision making is going to elevate the things around you, the energy around you, the people around you, and ultimately it's gonna fulfill your purpose and God's mission on earth for you. I hope nothing but the best for you. God bless you.
Thank you.
All right.
Bless you, man. Thank you so much. I refuse to live my life in terror or fear of anything. If somebody kills me, fine, they can kill me. But everything I've said on camera, they're going to put an exclamation mark behind that, and they're going to bring a lot of attention and a lot of stuff they don't want down upon them. I live a life free of hate and full of love, and it's great. I hope what I'm doing now helps. I'm not sure if it's remarkable or if it's great, but I'm hoping it is, and I'm hoping it does make a difference, and I'm hoping that it helps at least one person out, and if it helps more, awesome.
Thomas Engelman was shot in the head and left for dead because he decided that he was going to reject his whiteness and do a little good in the world. So my question to the rest of you is, what's your problem? You've been listening to Gunshots Straight from the Hip. The views expressed are those of the host and guests and not reflective of any business entity or anyone associated with this broadcast. If you have any comments or want more information on how to be a sponsor, log on to our website at markgunmedia.com or call us at 502-407-0283. That's 502-407-0283. Thank you for listening.
Mark Gun Media. No hype, no hoopla, just damn good work.